Welcome, everybody, to the 9/11 broadcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a broadcast on 9/11. Unfortunately, we are not here right now. This is a figment of your imagination. No. This is a pre-recorded broadcast because both of us had some schedule conflicts today. So we pre-recorded today's episode. So for those of you leaving comments, we will read the comments later. We're just not going to be able to bring them up on screen and stuff today. But please tell us what you think about it. Please engage in conversation like you normally would. All right. But we're a partnership doing Like the Way You Drink podcast. My name is Tim Gillette, and my partner is
Gladys Boutwell in Oregon.
Yep. So she's in the Oregon half of this. I'm the Texas half of this. But here, we both just really, should we tell the story a little bit? Like, when history comes out?
Well, sure, because we have a lot of new listeners, and they may not know how much we've come over the last 2 years and how we originally met, and we knew about each other, but just did not really know each other. So knowing about each other and knowing each other is two different things. And in August of 2021 is when we were both at Mastermind. I had a private 1 full day with our mentor, Craig Duswald, had a whole day of, hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And then we had a small, intimate group of 6 of us, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so Tim happened to have sat next to me. And by next to me, I mean the chair, because we were in the living room. So it was like comfy chairs and all. And so he was the closest one to me, and he was there a little bit earlier. So we got to chit chat. And in the conversation, moonshine and whiskey came up.
Mm-hmm. I think Craig said to us, well, you two should be friends because you're both into whiskey. Yeah.
And so then the third day, we were at a larger group, which there was like 40 people, maybe 50 in the group. And of course, we're at a country club. And what do? We sit in the back. Normally I sit in the front because I can't see, I can't hear. I get easily distracted. Squirrel, a shiny object. And so we sat in the back, and it's like, and Tim says, I brought you something. And I went, I brought you something too. And actually that is kind of funny because every so often throughout the podcast, we're like in sync, just like right there. We did a whiskey sour.
2 alcoholics who had our own bag stash, our own paper bag that day.
We did. It's like, share this. But the thing is that like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we did a whiskey sour, we didn't know what whiskey we were going to use. And he said, so I have this whiskey, and brings out Angel's Envy. And then I'm like, I get the bottle of Angel's Envy, and I'm like, look. And so we had the same whiskey. We've done that other times. So it's from the beginning, once we connected, we've come across those experiences where we're just right on point on the same thing, where we're thinking the same thing, or we're going in the same direction. So that's been quite fun when we do that, because it's like, yay. So I've enjoyed that. That's part of why we've been doing this for how many episodes now?
We are on, this is like this would be 70, 75, 67. I think we're like 76 this would be. Actually about 78, because we have a couple unnumbered episodes out there that we did pre-recording like this, and we really didn't number the episodes. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
So we've been bringing this, and so this time we ended up with a couple things. Well, Guacamole Day is on the 3rd.
I think Guacamole Day comes this month sometime, and I don't know. Did you do guacamole? I didn't. I did
not. I didn't do guac because it was one of the things that we could have done guac. I did do avocado though, because we made nachos.
Yeah. So let's show our nachos. Let's show off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you get to vote whose nachos looks prettiest, because you're not going to know which one tastes prettiest because you're not here with us.
But which one looks pretty and which one tastes better? Well, they're both going to taste delicious. I will tell you that.
They're both good, but like,
it's all about color. For me, it's all about color. So.
But I'm looking at yours going, man, I should have got sour cream with mine. You know what I mean? It's like you always, nachos are a great thing for people to make, but you always look at someone else's nachos and go, oh man, I should have added that. You ever notice that? It's like always, oh man, I didn't think about putting that in my nachos. Yeah.
And olives, I have put black olives, so sliced olives.
Yes.
And so the the ground beef, it's just like taco meat. The cheeses that went on this, so it was Juanita's tortilla chips. I don't make my own chips. That's craziness. Too much trouble. You need a deep fryer. And then the the cheeses were cheddar and a Mexican blend. And then the ground beef with the taco seasoning, and then of course avocado, tomatoes, cilantro on top, and then the sour cream and the salsa, which let me grab it. It's right over there. It is a local, so because it is this one I think is Washington, not Oregon, but I did meet the makers at a Sunflower Festival a few weeks back. So let me grab it because I have to show them off because their salsa was darn good. So give me 1 second.
So
As it was grabbed from me and I did get it.
this is a Saturday that we're recording this episode, and at our house we actually have a big family festival. So we were making a nachos and taco type charcuterie board for everybody to pick at. So one of the things that my wife and daughter made this morning was this corn salsa.
Nice.
Oh, it is so good.
That's
So
one that I'm a little jealous
I
about.
tasted it before the episode started today, so I know what it tastes like.
So LeCount, this is a grilled salsa. It is this is the hot. They had a mild, they had a hot, and then they had a hotter one that had a Thai chili in there. I think it was that made it even hotter. It was like it was kind of smoky. I liked it, but I really enjoyed this one. So it is Battleground, Washington. So from the border of Oregon, Washington, it is probably 20 minutes north. 20 to 25 minutes north in Battleground, locally made, and it says taste the difference. So this one was a lot of fun to try at the and it was like, oh, gotta try it. But yeah, it's homemade. It was great. So that is what's on here, and our drink for today. Oh geez, what did you pick out for your chelada? Modelo chelada, okay. Oh, limón y sal. Okay, the one that I went with, because I love a traditional chelada, and I do make my own. And when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I also enjoy having a chelada. I ended up finding the watermelon, the sandia.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And this is the bomb. I so like this. It is very refreshing. A lot of times a michelada may feel a little bit heavier because of the tomato. But this one, it's the watermelon. The mango one is also very good. There's a pineapple one that one's yummy. But I ended up with the sandia this time because I wanted the watermelon. Yep.
I'm only gonna pour a little bit into it like that because this is a big can, and I know on a short episode I'm not going to drink it all today, so I'll probably be sharing this with the kids and everything. But look at that; it looks almost like last week's episode. It looks like that blonde you did last week.
Yeah, and this one, there's
yours looks like a rosé wine. It looks like a rosé wine, doesn't it?
It does. Yep. And the smell is oh my goodness, you can just smell that it's just delicious. It smells very fruity. And mind you, I don't like fruity, I don't like sweet, but this is a different because it is not sweet. It is more of a savory, even though it's watermelon. And it's spicy, and so this one's pretty yummy. I am using my gorgeous beer in Cascade Locks. I was talking about Cascade Locks last week, where that is where they have they've had the self-serve gas station on the Oregon side for some time. And there is the Bridge of the Gods that connects Oregon and Washington. I think it's like $3. You can't use card, it's check or cash. No pedestrians, only vehicles. But I have had the opportunity through my running to run the Bridge of the Gods, where we have to park in the Oregon side. We get bused to the Washington side, and the half marathon, the 10K, starts on the Washington side, and then you run across the bridge, run across the Bridge of the Gods, hence Bridge of Gods, before we get into Oregon and do the run and end it in the Oregon side. but just gorgeous views of the Columbia River. But look at that color; it's just gorgeous. Great smell and just.
No. We did these on the podcast before, and I remember it's the first time I ever tried it was on our previous podcast where we did these. And they're an interesting thing. They're not something I have regularly in my refrigerator. I don't know if you keep them in your refrigerator regular. I just don't. I had to specially go get one for this podcast, but I left it with this lemony lime type thing because of the Mexican food it's going with today. It's almost like I wanted to have a little extra tequila by, but I didn't.
Right. So I'm gonna get a picture of the chelada over here, and
it goes very well with my salsa.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just saying. lemon lime with corn salsa. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's
my corn salsa is so good that I keep snapping chips off into it, trying to get some scoop.
So I know you didn't make these nachos, but how do you normally make your nachos? How do you normally make your nachos?
So I'm about putting the layer. Usually, if I'm doing, I do the layer of chips. I will put my cheeses. I usually do the Mexican mixed cheeses.
Okay.
I like to slice up jalapenos and put into it. Whole fresh jalapenos and put onto it.
Yes.
I cook my meat ahead of time. Put my meat on my beef on top of that. Then I will put another light layer of cheese, tomatoes, and then I'm all about putting the cilantro on. A little bit of salsa and stuff on top after it's cooked.
Right.
So, to me, the beef, the cheese, your chips, that's the only thing that gets heated, and the jalapenos, the only thing that gets heated. Everything else goes on top.
So yeah, for me, it's the layer of the chips, the cheeses, and if I put more cheese on or more chips on top, then more cheese. And what I realized is that I have to add more cheese than I think I need, because there will be some chips that will need more cheese. So they have to be completely covered. And
there's always never enough cheese.
Right. So then I throw that in a sheet pan, like a cookie sheet pan, in the oven under broil, just for a few minutes to get that cheese to melt and get bubbly. I pull it out. Then it's all independent, because there's been times that we put a towel down on the coffee table and we bring it out to the living room as we watch a movie, and we just have everything on the sheet plate or on the sheet pan, where it's all, we just pour the meat on top, if we have guac or avocado. I usually prefer the avocado over guac, the sour cream, the olives, the tomatoes, the cilantro, the jalapenos, which I usually end up forgetting. But just, do all your toppings and then just like pick at it, and it is so delicious. But yeah, only the cheese, because everything else needs to be nice and fresh and yummy. And the salsa, this salsa is hot, but it's got very good flavors. It's not very tomatoey. It's just got good flavors in there, because some salsas you can really taste the tomato. In this case, it's not a prominent flavor in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining about it. It's got a little bit of kick. So not having the jalapenos in this case is actually good, because I do it sometimes where I put the jalapenos and then the salsa, and then it's like this next level of heat. But
sometimes you can overdo it. So. So I want to use.
Tones it down. You want to use what?
I want to use this broadcast today because I know it is September 11th as this is being aired. And 22 years ago today, America was changed. I'm going to say that. we are having a broadcast today that is mixing things. And I really think the Americans who are born through this what's going on is we're Americans.
We're Americans.
We're united. We've got a mixture of beer and other things today in our drink. A mixture of cheeses and stuff in our stuff. It's because what makes up America is the fact that I'm a guy into whiskey, you're a girl into gins, and we hang out and have fun together. You know what I mean? That's America. So to the many kids who are now watching our show that can drink, right? Who were not born on that day that you and I had to sit there and watch those horrific events that happened in America.
Right.
And I know many of those kids who are born, some of them, their parents gave their lives that day, trying to save us.
Yeah.
Trying to fight to get people out of that buildings and stuff like that. 9/11 for me will always be a unique day in history.
Right.
I do not feel it needs to be a national holiday. I still don't. I think
True that. There's nothing to be celebratory of that. It's more of a we have to remember because the thing is that a lot of times people forget that we have to study history. We have to study what has happened in the past in order to learn. Because if we don't learn, if we just do the same thing and go, oh, who cares? It's like, well, history's gonna repeat itself. It just does that, kind of like fashions, trends come back and things will happen again if we're not looking at what was the reason that this happened.
Yes.
It's almost like a process improvement. What can we do to not make the same mistakes that our ancestors made? Or we got to really think about that.
Yeah.
And just to remember those that gave their life to save others. Because that's truly what happened on a lot of things. It's like, what can we do to not make it's bad? What can we do to not make it worse?
Yeah.
And just supporting.
But it also goes down to, I mean, those firefighters and policemen who went into that building, many of them charged that building having no idea what was going to happen. All they went in was for the lives.
Yeah.
And I think every one of them would probably be a fan of a podcast like this that says, guys, you need to celebrate every day you're alive. Not set special days aside to celebrate, but celebrate every day you're alive. I love your opinions on that, Gladys, because while we are a party show, we really are. We're a party show. I believe that, we're partiers who love to hang out together because we believe in celebrating every day we live.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's true on that piece. It's we have to truly treasure because we don't know what's to be expected. That's the thing. You never know what's going to happen.
So personally, I think that's why I taste more things.
Yeah, there was I just read recently. Right, I just read recently this post that somebody said the friend's wife had passed away, and they were having a conversation that he had. She had asked him to make chili that day, and he really didn't want to make chili. It's like just didn't want to make the chili, and she ended up passing away. I don't know that I remember the reason, or if they even stated the reason that the wife passed away. So she never had chili. Well, years later, the other friend was talking to him about, they were out golfing or whatever, and just conversation. It's like, oh yeah, my wife wants to do whatever it was. And he looked at him and said, just make the chili. And the whole point, it took him a moment to go back. And the whole point was, if you don't know if she's going to be there when you get home, if she's asking for something, you know what? How hard is it? Just take care of it. Just make the darn chili, So, I mean, it went into a lot of detail, but it's that type of thing is just make the chili,
It's like you said, you said on last week's broadcast, you know what I mean, that you went out on that run celebrating that friend who got lost, right, and never came back home from a morning run.
Yeah.
So
And
that's it.
it's like, and leaving 2 kids and a husband and friends, and so it's one of the main ladies, so she's the one that kind of organized that. Hey, let's do this. It's every woman should feel safe to be able to go on a run,
You're
and
right.
especially for those that are going early in the morning, 4 in the morning, because they have families that they need to take care of.
Yeah.
They're going earlier because that's their time. And this morning, I thought I was originally going to do like a couple miles. And I said, well, if I do my long, it'll be 3.5. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do over 4 miles. And I did 4.11 miles.
Cool.
And it's like, you know what, it's just in remembrance that it's like, hey, what can we do to protect ourselves? What can we do to help others? How can we, be there for each other when we have to run? There's, the ladies will post. It's like, hey, I'm running at 5:30 in this area of town. Who can join me?
Yes.
So it's that, and I will run with pepper spray. And if I do early in the morning, or if I'm getting into darkness at night, I have my lighted vest, my headlamp, the dog, I have asked my neighbor when I don't have Maverick, I'll go, it's like, hey, can I take Loki out for a run? Sure. So I take Loki. He's a husky, but he's also, a big dog. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself. But it's kind of sad that we have to do that. But even in a safe neighborhood, because you never know. But yeah, it's, just do what you can to appreciate and celebrate others. So
So
yeah.
as we look at 9/11, all right, I'm always a thing of every year. What do I celebrate? What do I celebrate on the daily thing? So for me, all right, at the airing of this broadcast yesterday was my birthday. That's always 9/10 is my birthday. That's why I always remember 9/11. But what do we celebrate, right? Every year I get a birthday, I celebrate. Do you? Yeah,
No,
you don't. I get it because you're a woman and you're trying to get younger. Hey, I know your boyfriend. Remember, I know your boyfriend. I can get him to celebrate.
he does actually. He's like, oh, we're gonna do this. It's not for your birthday, but we're gonna do it. Okay, that's fine.
Glenn's that way too. My wife is the same way. Fine. Sean and I are going to go celebrate everybody's birthday from now on. Leave the two of you guys to go to work.
Gwen and I will be hanging out, going, there they go. Okay, sure.
Yeah, they'll just go to the bar anyway. But no, I think we need to celebrate every day we can in life. One of the things that we've been trying to build our episodes over the past couple months over the national holiday calendar, trying to find days to celebrate. And as I said, we had nachos or guacamole. We're in a weird corner to put this episode together because we knew we couldn't do it live this week, and we had to record it. All right, due to travel schedules and stuff. So we couldn't find a unique thing. But this month, I am going to say, this month we have some unique broadcasts coming. I'm not giving it away. I know I want to tell everybody what it is, but I'm not. I'm waiting because it is going to blow your mind that we found 2 things that when we both looked at it in the calendar, like, we got to celebrate them both. We have to celebrate them both. We can't pick one or the other. We have to do both type deal. You'll see. Anyway, but that's celebrating, right? Celebrate every day you have alive. I am so thankful.
Yeah, no, go ahead. And I'll give my thoughts.
I am so thankful that Craig introduced you, and I really am. You know what I mean? Yeah. This has been, of all the podcasts I've done in over 12 years' time, this is the most fun podcast I have. Yeah.
But what I was going to mention is, like, if you think, look at the national calendar and see, hey, let's see if maybe we'll throw a little raffle of some sort for those that might come up with some thoughts of what we might be doing over the next couple weeks.
Yep. So anyway,
make it fun. We like to have fun. We really do. We work hard. We work very hard, but at the same time, we also like to have fun.
This is our one little fun thing we do every week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every week.
Every week.
And anyway. We put a lot of work into it too.
Yeah, this isn't just pop up on air and put your makeup on show. So
this took time, having to
yeah.
make sure that all the ingredients were there, and it's like, okay, I got everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, did I forget to pick up my chilada? It's like, oh, oh, I didn't preheat the oven. Little
We
things
have
like that.
no. We have had episodes where you've called me and said, "Hey, listen, my camera's on, but I will be back in 5 minutes. I had to run out. I forgot." She has done that.
Well, the last time I did that, I thought I had my corn tortillas for the brisket tacos. I
I
had
know.
everything else
That was the
in
week I didn't have. Yeah, I didn't have tortillas. I remember that.
right. So I had everything set up because the camera and mic, that's always has to be set up. So I had that all set up, and I'm pulling everything out and then getting ready. I got the pan ready because and then I look and I'm like, I'm out of corn tortillas. I had flour, I didn't have corn. I'm like, shoot. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's like, so I'm running out because I'm like, you really can't have a taco if you don't have the tortillas. So that one was hilarious. That it
Yep,
was
it
like
was. Wait a minute, wait a
completely
minute.
off
But
the plan.
the greatest idea in the world, I don't think has ever been mentioned with having tacos. If you have an extra tortilla underneath you while you're eating tacos, all the
Oh yeah,
crumbs fall into the extra tortilla and you have an extra taco.
that's right.
Just saying.
I have done that where if they give me two tortillas at a taco truck, then I'm like, half of it's going into the second tortilla. I separate it, and then I'm like, well, there's all the stuff, and I eat one, and then I have a second one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So true. So true.
and it's
Well,
easier to eat because if they put that much meat in it, it's enough for two tacos. Don't tell the taco truck that; they'll start putting less meat.
and still charging the same money. That's what we're on that.
Right.
Anyway. So this week here, again, we're doing a short broadcast because we are off and we're off today. We're not here live. We're on a recorded broadcast. So, but every week, ladies and gentlemen, we put this together with our heart and souls of food and beverage ideas that we like. All right. Because we believe in the credo of the show is the name of the show. You got to like the way you drink. If it
You
was
don't
not
like
for our
it, you don't
businesses,
drink it.
yeah. If it was not for our businesses, this show would not be possible, ladies and gentlemen. So before I go into that sponsorship, if you notice the bottom of the screen, let me put it up on the screen here real quick. I would not be mistaken if I did not mention our Insiders Club. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an Insiders Club. Yes, if you like the way you drink and you want to be part of our parties, by all means, go to LikeTheWayYouDrink.com. You must be 21 to join. There is a button there where you can join the Insiders Club. Free to join. Get to be invited to special tastings, get to be invited to special events, as well as be able to purchase special alcohols that we're having made just for our insiders. So Gladys is on top of that. She's the mixologist, shall I say, in the group of the two of us. So she's the one who puts all this stuff together, and she's got some great things coming. Maybe she'll tell you a little bit about it before we go into sponsorship mode. Tell us a little bit about what you got coming in drink and alcohol.
So there is a barrel of whiskey and a barrel of gin that is at 10 months old in their barrels, and they should be able to be bottled fairly soon, if not already. I have to go taste them. I haven't done that. I've not had time. It's one of those things that it was there. But the other is a smaller barrel of rye whiskey that I had the opportunity to be hands-on through the mash process, through getting it ready. And then 2 weeks later, which was on the September 1st, I had the opportunity to go back in to be part of the barreling process, which took another couple of hours. The first time it was like a full day thing. It was like, oh my goodness, didn't know what to expect. And he did ask me, was it what you expected? Was it better? Was it worse? I said, it was beyond my expectations. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how much I was going to learn, how much I was going to enjoy it. It was just very exciting to be a part of it. And then to be asked back to say, hey, it's going to be barreled. Do you want to be a part of it? It's like, yes, when, what day? And so figured out my schedule and blocked off a block of time and went and took care of that. And it was just like so much fun. And you can be a part of that too. When you become part of the Like the Way You Drink Insiders Club, we're going to draw a name, and one of you gets to come out to the state of, well, Oregon, Washington. It's this distillery is on the Washington side, and you will be able to have the opportunity to spend the whole day learning the whole process of whiskey making. You'll get to sign the barrel, and get to decide, at what proof do you want it, what flavors do you want. You get to be a part of all that, and only our Insiders Club will be invited to have other opportunities like that. So I'm like really excited. 10 months from now, we will probably have that rye ready to go, and that's only going to be maybe 10 to 12 bottles that will come out of that. So it's kind of exciting.
Going to be good, exciting time at the same time.
Yep.
So with that being said, this show is brought to you every week, ladies and gentlemen, by our businesses. It is Gladys and I who put this all together. And it's our dime. It's us who put together. Our businesses are the sponsors of this, all right, as well as other people have come along. But of course, we're always going to start with ladies first. Tell us about your business, Gladys.
Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping business owners with their employee benefits. If you want to attract and retain quality staff, guess what? You can do that through employee benefits. What does that mean to you? Well, let's have a conversation so that way you can see, is it something you can do now, a year from now, put it on budget? What are the things that you can do now to start showing your employees how much you appreciate them? If you go to insurancedesignpros.com, on the upper left-hand corner, there is a white paper where you can download 101 employee benefits for all budgets. My book is going to be coming out pretty soon that will go into a little bit more detail. That is just a list. It's a white paper. The book will go into details and examples of how you can provide employee benefits to your employees, no matter what your budget is, including free sometimes. So check it out, insurancedesignpros.com. And this is my wonderful co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Gillette, and I actually do a thing called Simple Easy Websites. I'm a website designer, website hosting company. Simple Easy Websites. We get your website going. Number one, working website, 7 days or less. Focus websites in 30 days or less. Working website includes 3 things: who you are, what you do, and how to get a hold of you. Focus website tells them exactly what you want them to do, and it is guided all towards the idea of getting them to get on the phone with you, getting them to book a call with you, getting them to do the task that you created the website for. If you want to find out more about what we do, book a free consultation. SimpleEasyWebsites.com. My name is Tim Gillette. I'm the CEO of the company. And we will be back next week with, I think we're going to spike the punch next week, aren't we?
I think so.
We're going to spike the punch
It's
next
gonna,
week.
Are you gonna wear a tuxedo, pretend you're at prom?
I don't know if I'm quite going to go that far. Hey, if I put on a white shirt, be thankful, because the last time I wore a white shirt on our podcast, that shirt got thrown out because the stain couldn't come out.
Oh, was it your nice shirt? Because you've had a white shirt that you're like, I should have worn this today. Yeah.
I do not. If you notice, guys, I hardly ever wear a white shirt on the podcast anymore. I learned my lesson the hard way.
And
I think I have
really
one white
nice
shirt that's old. I might do it one more time because the shirt's old, and it's time to get a new one anyway. And most of my shirts are bought on Amazon for $25.
See, men can buy really nice clothes for dirt cheap. Women, it's like if you want really nice, it's more expensive. It's annoying. Yeah. But
anyway. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you guys for being part of another broadcast. All right. Have a great week. All right. We will be back here next week with another great episode. In the meantime,